Hi everybody, I am Dr. Jagdale. One of the important topic we will discuss today, that is photosynthesis. Photolight synthesis, formation of something. In presence of light, formation of something. Here, food in the form of carbohydrate. So how it occurs inside the plant body? So those things we will try to make clear. So photosynthesis, what it requires. So the requirements of photosynthesis we can enlist just like carbon dioxide, water, then different photosynthetic pigments along with chlorophyll A, which is the major pigment. In addition, water is also essential. Radiant energy is the most essential part. So by if all these things they are there in a living cell of autotrophic plant, the conditions are favorable for uh, conversion of radiant energy into the chemical energy. So how it happens inside the plant body? So we'll start with that explanation. Plants, particularly autotrophic plants, they have leaves, and these leaves they contain different cells, and out of those, the cells from leaves, particularly having chlorophyll pigments or photosynthetic pigments in them, they are in the palisade tissue. Also, we call them as a mesophyll tissue, and particularly the dominance of chlorophyll pigments, we call such tissue as a chlorenchyma. So in such cells, there is a organelle named as a chloroplast. So these chloroplast units, they are there in higher plant, about 300 to 350 such chloroplast units they are there, and these are actually the factories of photosynthesis. So very nice to see here. In cytoplasm, these cell organelles, which we call it as a chloroplast, they lie over there. So radiant energy at daytime that penetrate the other tissues and reach up to the cytoplasm, and in doing so, the chloroplast, which is having double membrane system of lipoproteinous membrane, so it also receives this radiant energy rays, and it reaches to the inside the chloroplast, and where grana and stroma regions lie. So this is how the path of radiant energy, right from its source up to the point of the factory of photosynthesis, we can say. So such factories per cell, I have told you, they are there, and throughout day they perform the process of photosynthesis. At right from morning up to the evening, or right from sunrise up to the sunset, these things, the radiant energy is absorbed by the grana region of the chloroplast, which is made up of thylakoids, which are arrayed one above the other, just like a pile of coins. And these thylakoids, they contain different photosynthetic pigments. These photosynthetic pigments, they absorb the wavelength, different wavelengths of visible light from the which which is there in the sun. So we know the VIBGYOR. So right from the VIBGYOR, we know different colors they are there in the VIBGYOR. So visible light energy, it is having, or it starts from the 320 millimicron, and this spectrum ends with 760 millimicron. So these photosynthetic pigments which are there in the grana region, as per their ability, as per their choice, they try to absorb different wavelengths of this visible light, and ultimately the trapped energy, so that is handed over to the main pigment. We call it as a necessary pigment, that is chlorophyll A. And here in chlorophyll A, the orbit, in the outer orbit, excitement occur due to energization of the electrons, highly energized electrons. They try to leave the orbit, and these electrons, they are accepted by different electron carriers like pyridoxine, cytochrome B, cytochrome B6, plastocyanin, and then it reaches to one of the photosystem, and thereby lastly this electron is utilized in the reduction of the NADP, and also during various stages while transfer of this electron, ADP energy released is enough to bind ADP with inorganic phosphate to produce ATP. So like this, in light phase, in short, the radiant energy of sun is trapped or converted into chemical energy. So these two energy forms, ATP and reduced NADP, they are utilized in the next phase of photosynthesis, which is light independent, and we call it as a dark phase of photosynthesis. And for operation of this dark phase, the required energy is provided by this assimilatory energy produced in the first photosynthetic phase, that is light phase. So we came to know there are two phases of photosynthesis. First one light phase, and another one dark phase. So we will in short see what things occurs in the light phase. So light energy is trapped, that I have told you. Now the process where energized phosphate groups are attached with ADP to form ATP, in presence of light, the overall term for this phenomenon is photophosphorylation. Photolight, phosphorylation, addition of phosphate. So like this, the process of photophosphorylation is a very important process and occurs in the light phase, which produces assimilatory energy in the form of ATP and reduced NADP. Now we will go towards the another phase in short. So after availability of this assimilatory energy in the stroma region of the chloroplast, and ATP and NADPH2 they are made available, and the stroma is already having the machinery required for reduction of carbon dioxide. Machinery in the sense enzymes, coenzymes, factors, cofactors required for reduction of carbon dioxide. So from where this carbon dioxide come in the stroma region? So from air it percolates by the process of diffusion in the cytoplasm up to the cytoplasm, and this carbon dioxide is now utilized in the one of the process for this utilization or carbon dioxide reduction, that is the Kelvin cycle. So by the process of Kelvin cycle, carbon dioxide is accepted, and it is carbon dioxide acceptor is a RUBP. This RUBP is regenerated, and while this cycle of regeneration of carbon dioxide acceptor in the stroma region, at various stages, the various different stages they occur in between, and carbon dioxide is reduced up to carbohydrate, or we can say up to fructose, and further regeneration of RUBP that takes place in the stroma region. So this is in brief what happens in the stroma region, and the mechanism of Kelvin cycle in very brief I have told you. So like this, carbon dioxide from air, it is reduced to carbohydrate, and this carbohydrate is the food material for every living organism on the surface of earth. So this is the uniqueness of the photosynthesis. This is the only process on the surface of earth which is providing food material to all living creatures of the universe. So just see how much important this process is. The significance of photosynthesis lies here. That's why we can say this is very, very important metabolism. Out of other all, we will have to give preference to the photosynthesis, as just now I have mentioned. Photosynthesis is also important for what? So just see, I have told you in stroma region, in grana region what happens? Ki photophosphorylation occur. One of the process, there are two types of photophosphorylation. One is non-cyclic and another is a cyclic. So just see related with the non-cyclic, where ATP as well as reduction of NADPH2, these two things happen. And here one very important thing, ki the electron donated by the chlorophyll A is not given back to it. Now deficiency occur in the orbit of chlorophyll A, which is a necessary pigment. It should not remain unstable. So what nature has created, how this fulfillment of the electron is done in the same process, what happens? Water, it gets splitted in presence of light, and splitting of water in presence of light is called photolysis, breaking of water in presence of light. So after splitting, what is produced? One molecule of water, it gets splitted in presence of light, and proton, then electron, and one of oxygen. So these are the products of photolysis after splitting of one molecule of water. So here electron is produced. This electron is then given to the chlorophyll A in non-cyclic photophosphorylation. And another importance of this photolysis, oxygen is produced, and this is the oxygen. Remember, this is the oxygen which is evolved during photosynthesis. That's why one feel very nice when he or she sleeps under tree during daytime. So freshness is because of the evolution of oxygen through this process of photolysis. So one can see we know that major amount of oxygen is there in the air, around about 20 or more than percent. So this oxygen, out of this oxygen, about 50% oxygen is in the air is from this process. So scientists, they are of this opinion. So during the early period, hydroponic plants like algae, they have major role in the production of this oxygen which is there in the atmosphere at present, and the aerobic forms, they depend on oxygen for their liveliness. What will happen if there is no oxygen, or if we can't breathe for a minute or more than that? What happens, that we know. So this is the importance of the photolysis of water, which occurs in the light phase of photosynthesis during non-cyclic photophosphorylation. This is also the another uniqueness of this process. Why photosynthesis is very important, that I am trying to explain. Unique process of production of food material for existence of every living organism on the surface of earth. Secondly, plays very important role to maintain the carbon dioxide and also oxygen balance in the atmosphere. See, on one hand, the process is utilizing carbon dioxide, which gets reduced to form food. On another hand, oxygen is evolved. So this is also a very great importance of the photosynthesis. So after understanding, actually I am not going to tell you all the details, what are the alternative pathways by which carbon dioxide is fixed, whereas they are there. So the plants which obeys Kelvin cycle, we call them as C3 plants, as the first stable product is 3-carbon compound. Some scientists like Hatch, Slack and Kodsak, they found first stable product is not C3 but C4, and now people come to know that there is another alternative pathway of carbon dioxide fixation, and we know this pathway is named as HSK pathway, Hatch, Slack and Cold-Sack pathway. These three scientists, they are honored for their discovery, where two times carbon dioxide is fixed. Firstly from air, and secondly the evolution of carbon dioxide through the process of decarbonization in HSK pathway. One should know HSK pathway is characterized by having the trans type of anatomy. Mesophyll cells and bundle sheath cells, they are involved. Here PEP, phosphoenol pyruvic acid, is the carbon dioxide acceptor, and I have told you in Kelvin cycle RUBP, that is the carbon dioxide acceptor. In C3 plant or Kelvin cycle, first stable product is C3 compound, and in C4 plants or HSK pathway obeying plants, they are called as C4 plants. In these plants, first stable product is 4 carbon compound. Now in brief I will tell you the importance of or significance, biological significance of HSK pathway. Why HSK pathway is more important than that of the Kelvin cycle or C3 pathway? HSK pathway, in HSK pathway, 2 times carbon dioxide fixation occur, and that's why it remains more productive. Rate of photosynthesis is maintained high even at very low carbon dioxide concentration. The pathway can occur in its good rate under high temperature even, and in scarcity of water even. These plants which obeys HSK pathway remains highly productive, and that's why I like HSK pathway than that of Kelvin cycle, or C4 than that of C3. So one should not neglect that there are many plants which obey C3 pathway. There are many. But what the scientists they are doing now, as compared to C3, C4, C3 plants are not that much productive. So why not one should go to ask these C3 plants, you behave just like C4. You behave just like C4. You try to adapt C4 pathway so that farmer will get, or all living organisms, they will get more produce from these plants. So there are scientists who are working on this aspect. So most of the tropical plants, they like to behave the C4 pathway or carbon dioxide fixation by this process. So in future there are possibilities कि C3 plants can obey the carbon dioxide reduction by the process of C4, and that will be a magic. That will be a type of revolution. Green revolution we know, a type of revolution, and that we need for future even. for increasing population and for feeding and for giving more fodder to the animals, for feeding the humans and all. So just see how much the process of photosynthesis is important for this very lovely and nice earth planet. See, we are very lucky to this planet has given us birth. Us, not only to humans. Us means right from unicellular organism to huge multicellular. Right from, I can say, virus up to on one hand to use banyan tree, or on another hand use elephant or hippopotamus like organisms. So this diversity of the individuals on the surface of earth, that is there, and we know this diversity should be conserved. And to have this diversity on the surface of earth, this planet is a magic planet, we can say. And that's why I am telling ki we are very lucky ki we are here on this earth planet. We don't know about other planets, whether like us human beings, or here what we have, plants, animals, unicellular and multicellular, huge and minute. So like these, whether that will be there on the other planet or not, possibilities are there, but whether they will be there or not, that is not clear up till. Anyhow, this planet, on this planet, this thing is possible because of what? See, for breathing, ample oxygen is there. For our liveliness, ample food material production through the photosynthesis, that is there. We are having ample resources of water on the surface of earth, but they should be utilized properly so that this water will be saved, or we can say will be saved for the future generations, and for not only for humans, also for other organisms. So that's why I'm telling ki very lovely and very nice earth planet is, and we are very lucky to have our birth on this planet. So here, while discussing these things, I will like to say ki try to conserve the things which are there on this planet, and try to do all the good things for this planet. And for this thing, one must, I can say, one must plant at least quarter century plants in entire life, at least. That is not a big goal, but I am saying at least if each and every individual do this thing, this will be a very nice service for this earth planet. Do this thing for your Matrubhumi, where you live. Do plantation just near your residence, or on the terrace of the residence, or on the walls of residence, or even in your field if you are having. So this is my advice, and again I will go towards briefing what we have seen today, one of the interesting thing, the phenomenon of photosynthesis. So we have to become literate. There is this thing in the plant body. This thing happens throughout the day. These factories do the work for you all throughout the day, and they never say we are doing this job for you. And they never say, these plants, they never say, don't come and sit under, or don't take my shade, don't take my oxygen, don't take my food. See how plants behave with us, and in turn how we behave with the plants. See, very we can say, one should think about this thing. Some of the many good things they are there with the plants, so try to adapt what good things plants gives to us, and try to behave with others in the same manner as plants behave with us. This is the second advice. While as we are related with the photosynthesis, as we are related with the autotrophic plants, so they are having this nature, and why we don't have. So this is my kind request, try to plant, do the plantation of the trees, then tell to others even, and insist them for plantation. This will be once again I say, this is the very nice service for this earth planet. Once again I will say, thanks to photosynthesis, and because of you photosynthesis, we all are here. We all are looking the biodiversity in the form of virus, bacteria, mycoplasma, fungi, algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms, and also such type of diversity is there in the animal kingdom even. So in all, you have given the biodiversity to flora as well as fauna, and this is the uniqueness of this photosynthesis. So we all can thank to the process that is photosynthesis. Thank you.